Yeah, yeah, seen it.
Okay, so what I want to do is walk quickly through the steps that I took to set up Windows Admin Center. And there's a few extra steps that are kind of like hidden gotchas. And if you miss them because you're in a hurry, then you'll end up frustrated with some misfires. The other thing I'd like to share with you too is that we have just three short learning objectives or learning outcomes for this module. So essentially, it's mostly hands-on. There's very little content, but inside the 3.2, I included what I call a breadcrumbs folder, and there are screenshots, and there's a walkthrough with the video, okay? So if you haven't gotten to the PowerShell one yet, I just want you to be aware that I have the same setup that I'm about to walk through for the other assignment, which is installing Windows Admin Center. So when you install Windows Admin Center, um, one of the things you want to do is make sure that you have the host file set up and that both your virtual machine and your host machine are in the same work group at a minimum, and if possible, they use the same domain suffix and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna, when you try to connect to your own machine after you install it, you might get an error message, and it says, allow Microsoft Edge to access the network in your firewall or antivirus settings. So you go into your firewall, you disable it first, and then you re-enable it. So that's part of this, right? Now, once I did that, I got this prompt. So I was able to put in a local login and a password, right? It said successfully installed version 2211, and that's the version you should show. But then in the upper right corner, some pop-ups started hitting because right after you install Windows Admin Center, it starts to run its own updates. It updates extensions. And those extensions, if you're not aware that those need to run, you need to leave it up and running and open for a time after it finishes installing, because it's going to talk to the mothership and then download additional fixes and patches. If you're in a hurry and you install and then you go right away into the rest of this, then the odds are pretty good that you're going to have misfires. And I found that you have to leave this open. It's kind of like waiting for something to cook on the stove, right? So the other trick to this is to make sure that when you're connecting to other machines, if you're having problems connecting with a name, then use the IP address. But after you add that, you want to click Manage As and put in the name and account for that system only. And you want to select another other login, right? So as soon as you have this in there, basically you can click on the overview, and there's an incredible amount of power in here. You can edit the computer ID. So this is where you can edit your own DNS suffix or your own name, right? You can restart or shut down. You can, if you run down this column, there are all sorts of other options to add users, to change your network, and so on. Now, I said for this assignment, you should select local users and groups and then capture this screen. And that shows that you've managed to install Windows Admin Center on your virtual machine. That's the first part of assignment 3.1. But then you get on your own host and you do the same thing again. You repeat. And when you do, it picks a different port. You see on your server, it picks 443. If I'm looking at this, Everybody see that? On server 2022, it picks 443. And if you change that, or you got in the window to do that and you changed it to a different number, that can cause a problem. On your laptop, it's going to pick this odd port, 6516, right? And I checked the box that said automatically update. Now, this is a critical part too. This screen will show, and if you don't select Windows Admin Center and then check Open Windows Admin, this is a certificate that it creates on your laptop so that it can broker trust relationships with other machines you try to connect to. So if you're getting a permissions or security or trust error message, this is one step that if you were in a hurry and you didn't select this intentionally, I don't know that it's selected or highlighted by itself, but then you select this and then finish, and it'll basically finish that last task and apply it immediately, and that helps. You might get a pop-up. It says SME desktop could harm your device. When it loads the first time on your laptop, gentlemen, if you have an antivirus product loaded on your machine, see, Windows Defender, by the way, I'm using Edge. Don't use Chrome, don't use Firefox, use Edge when you're doing all this. So if you're having problems with Windows Admin Center and you installed it using Chrome, my suggestion would be to uninstall Windows Admin Center and then reload it with the MSI, but set the defaults to Edge because Edge is Microsoft's browser. It's gonna, if you have antivirus, disable it or turn it off. You want this to download into your system, and you're gonna click keep. That's another piece of functionality. If you don't remember seeing this, it could be that you have a third-party antivirus product or something else in the mix. And once again, on your laptop, you need to update the extensions, right? Now, at this point, you can connect to your own machine, your own laptop. For this assignment, I only need you to connect to your own server using the server Windows Admin Center. You need to connect to your laptop using your laptop Windows Admin Center. It's nice, and you can log additional credit if you use one of the Windows Admin Centers to connect to the other system. But to complete this assignment, you connect to your own machine with your laptop. Your laptop WAC is used to open your laptop, and your server Windows Admin Center is used to open your server. And that's all you have to do to log full credit for the assignment, okay? The other thing I'd tell you is that in here, under resources, there is a resolving Windows Admin Center errors using the hosts file. So if you haven't set up hosts or you forgot how to do that, that's a decent thing to watch real quick, and it kind of walks you through the process to set up a host file. Usually after you add the domain suffix to the workgroup name and you restart and reload your services and so on, a lot of these issues will resolve. But those finer points about the downloaded file and so on, and the updated extensions, if that doesn't happen within Edge as a part of your load, that may be why it isn't working. Are there any questions before we clear? I need you to finish assignment 3.0, 3.1, and 3.2 this week. Inside 3.2, there's a YouTube and screen images for the walkthrough, okay? Any questions before we clear the session today? Oh, we do not have class Friday. It's Good Friday. So I'll see you the following Monday. and I'll be available for assistance if that's needed.